everybody, Keaton family, all of you, they're my cousins. And I want you to know that it's a high privilege and a great pleasure to say hello to you again on another family reunion. I wish I were there with you to look upon your smiling faces. I am grateful to God and to you for honoring me, so honoring to the extent that you want to hear from me at this time. I love every one of you. You're always in my prayers. God bless you. You know, Beatrice is here with me now. And I've just told her that I'm right in the spot where that I touch 7 generations of the Keaton family. Going back to grandfather and grandfather, Jim and Jane Keaton, all the way down to my great-great-grandchildren. And that's a span of 7 generations. And there's a lot of things that have happened between that first and the 7th generation. And I can tell you something about just about them all. And all of the 6th generation, especially the children or the descendants from Grandpa and Grandma Jane, all are gone but 4 of us. And you are so nice because of my seniority. You wanted me to say something to you. And I wanted to say something to you. Young people, you know, I love to see all of you reach the highest heights that you can possibly reach. Everything is wide open to you now. I look back at the generation of my grandfather and grandmother. They were the children of slaves. And my father and your great-grandfathers were their children. And the things that they experienced in that particular generation, which was the 2nd generation, the way I count generations now. And I know what the world was like. I know how well they lived. And I know the atmosphere, the surrounding of the entire country, how the other race looked at us, how they treated us, and how they expected us to behave. They had a superiority complex. They thought that, a lot of them believe that now, that they are greater and that they are better than any other race on earth because they have no pigment in their skin. They have no color. They are white. And all people that are not white are inferior to them. And back at that time, even in the days of my father, as long as black people would patronize their superiority complex, treat them that like they were superior. Walking on the street, I remember that if you wanted to be well thought of and have their blessing, all you had to do if you were walking, especially on a narrow street, if you would step to the side, tip your hat, and bow your head until they pass. You were a good old colored person. They just believed that. Some of them were real nice, treated you nice, and they thought the very best of you if you gave them that type of respect. And let me say to you, young folks, you know that atmosphere and that behavior, I'm talking about people in the South now, existed up until the close of World War II, when Truman ended segregation on trains, buses, and planes that you now ride. But you know, that shadow is not all gone, but it's just about all gone. Today, you watch television, and not only that, but we've come so far to, we've even had a black president. But you know, there's still some that thinks that you are inferior. But I want to say to you, I'm getting pretty close to the end now. I'm 96. I'm the oldest of my generation. The oldest except one other Keaton, and that's Willie C. Willie C, of course, is a Keaton, but his father was, I don't know, the first, or what the cousin, but the first cousin to Grandpa. And so what that tells us is that Grandpa, brother, or his father, brother, and that's who they are. He's just one side and we're the other. And I mentioned Willie C because Willie C is the same age, except he's about 2.5 months older than I. But other than that, why, I'm the eldest, as far as I know, of the James and Jane generation. And I just want to say to you, you young people, the road is open to you, and the opportunities to go to school and become anything you want to become. The shadow is not gone, but you've come so far now that they can't hold you back.
I know that's right, Cousin Les.
So be faithful, to yourselves. You don't have to patronize white people. You don't have to stand to the side, tip your hat, and let them go by. And when they reach a certain age, you have to say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. See, my father told me at the age of 13 to say yes, ma'am to a white girl that we knew real well. Her birthday was in March, but mine was in December. When my daddy told me that, I asked him, why should I say yes, ma'am, and call her Miss Margie? And all my father would say, well, son, you don't understand. But you know, you'll learn and you know later on. I got angry. I just hated Marjorie. And she's a good girl. We played together. But you know what? I stopped even talking to Margie. I resolved in myself, I'm not going to call her anything. I just won't talk to her because I won't say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. And I'm not going to call her Miss Margie. But you know, even though slavery had ended in Grandma and Grandpa's time, its shadow was still over all people of color. But now it's about gone. So I want to say to all of you, you're just about out of the shadow now. Stay in school. You can do anything anyone else can do. You're inferior to no one. And God loves you just like He loved the others. God made black because He likes black. God made red because He likes red. God likes yellow. He likes brown. And He likes white. He made all of us. And He made each race and nationality different from the other. We are not the same. They told me in school when I was coming up, no two leaves that fall off the tree is the same. No two blades of grass is the same. God is not a God that is limited. He can make a million things, and none of them are the same. You and I face that in our lives every day. We know how people look. A lot of them are different nationality and race, and they're all different from one another. And there's beauty in all of them. So lift up your heads, and you don't have to bow to anybody. You can do anything as well as any, and better than some. So be good people. Be good people. Take the right model to make your life what it ought to be. And the greatest pattern, the greatest models, I know you expect me to say it, and I'm going to say it. is in Holy Scripture. You live for Jesus Christ. And you pardon me if I don't mean to offend or hurt anybody. You have the right to believe or the privilege to believe whatever you want to believe. But I'm 96 years old. And I haven't seen any nation, anything outside of Christianity that is more beautiful to look forward to than Jesus Christ. Anything outside of Jesus is idolatry. There's only one God, and that's Jesus Christ. My grandfather was a preacher. Okay, Harrison was a preacher. Philemon, cousin Philemon, Titus, on the other side of my family, were preachers. They believed in Jesus Christ. That's the family reunion. And young people, cousins, I would definitely be wrong and condemned by the Almighty if I didn't tell you the only and the true way of life is to live according to the teachings of the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm glad to have had this time to just say these things to you. I love all of you. And I just wish I could see you and touch you. But I can't do that. But I know one thing, one of these days, according to the Bible, we're going to meet one of these days. He's coming back. And he's coming back for those who are alive and remain. And he's going to change them in the moment, in the twinkling of an eye. And those that are even in the grave